start by sitting up nice and tall at the top of your mat. And when you feel ready, take your hands together next to your heart. A couple of intuitive deep breaths here to begin our practice. Inhale to lift your arms up above your head. Then as you exhale, you're going to roll to your hands and knees and then slip your hips back towards your heels in child's posture, Balasana. When you feel ready, you're going to come back to your hands and knees. Arch your back, breathe in, roll back through the shoulders. And then as you exhale, curve your spine, tuck in the shoulders, squeeze your navel. Inhale to arch your spine, roll back your shoulders. You're going to keep your hips lifted over the knees. Try to drop your chest down toward the mat, looking towards your fingertips as you reach forward. When you feel ready, you're then going to lower your belly all the way down to the mat. Take your hands beside your rib cage. Breathe in, lift up, reach back through the shoulders, sway the spine, and then slip the hips back toward the heels in your child's posture once again. As you inhale, come to your hands and knees, arch your back, roll through the shoulders, look upward. Exhale to curve the spine, squeeze the navel, and look downward. Inhale to center the spine, stack the hips over the knees. Try to drop your chest as you look forward towards your fingertips. You're getting a nice deep stretch through your lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine. Lower your belly all the way down. Take your hands beside your rib cage. Breathe in and lift your heart. Arch your spine. And as you exhale, again, push your hips back towards your heels. Child's posture or Balasana. Repeat one more time. Inhale to arch the spine. Roll back the shoulders. Look upward. Exhale to curve the back. Squeeze the navel and look downward. Stabilize your spine, keep your hips stacked over the heels, drop your chest, reach your arms forward, nice deep stretch here. And then lower your belly all the way down. Take your hands beside your rib cage, breathe in and lift your heart, arch your spine. And as you exhale, push back your hips towards your heels, Balasana. When you're ready, back to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift up the knees, straighten your legs. We're coming into a plank. Nice strong core here, nice straight back before you push back into a downward facing dog. Inhale to the high plank, nice strong core. And exhale to push back into your downward facing dog. Inhale to the high plank, stacking the shoulders directly over the wrists, nice strong core and legs. Then exhale to push back into your down dog. It's alright if the heels don't touch the mat. You want to get a nice stretch. Before you bend the knees and look forward, you're going to step, maybe hop in between your palms, lift halfway, before folding back forward. Curving the spine fully, and then a deep breath in to lift all the way up to stand, bringing the arms high above the head and lower down to your heart. Samasthiti. Inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale to deeply forward fold. Inhale to look forward, roll back your shoulders. We're going to vinyasa. You can step to a plank, or you can jump your feet back and bend your elbows. Breathing in to lift the heart. And exhaling to push back into your down dog. Now your down dog doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to stretch before coming into a high plank and then pushing down dog. Inhaling to the high plank. Exhaling to the down dog. inhaling to the high plank. Deep breath out, downward facing dog. Straight legs, full stretch. Bend your knees, look at your thumbs. Come in between the hands, lift halfway, and then fold forward. Breathe in to lift the arms all the way up above the head. And exhale, hands to your heart. And again, breathe in, arms up. Exhale to fold deeply forward. Breathe in and look up, roll back the shoulders. Drop your hands, you can find Bakasana, an arm balance. You can step to a plank or Vinyasa through your Chaturanga, up dog, and then pushing into your down dog. Inhale to the high plank. Exhale to the down dog. And a couple more times. Build some strength in your plank. And then stretch it out in your down dog. Again, build a little bit of strength here. Strong core, high plank. Exhale to push back, down dog. Nice stretch here. Good. Bend the knees, look at your thumbs. Come in between your hands. And then fold forward when you're ready to. Deeply breathe in and lift all the way up to stand. Reach your arms above your head. And drop your hands down to your heart, Namaste. Bend your knees, push back your hips, lift up your arms in Utkatasana. Then exhale to deeply forward fold towards your toes. Breathe in, roll back the shoulders, lift up halfway, place your hands down, and step back your left foot so you're in a deep lunge here. Then you're going to bring up your right arm so you're twisting the back in dragonfly. And we're going to square the hips forward. Inhale, lift the chest. High crescent lunge. When you're ready, you're going to breathe out. Drop your back heel down to the mat. Open up your hips toward the side of the mat. And then open up your arms so you're in warrior two, keeping the shoulders rolled back and away from the ears. Reach your chest forward, arms come back, square the hips toward the top of the mat in a thunderbolt lunge. Drop your hands down to the mat and drop your back knee down. Inhale to lift your arms up in a low lunge, and then exhale to pivot yourself back in a half split. Breathe in again to the low lunge. You're welcome to come back into that half split to hold a nice stretch. Or you can try the full splits. You want to try to keep your chest lifted in the full splits and pelvis down. You're welcome to fold forward if that feels better, or you can stay upright, or you can always stay in that half split if it feels best for your hamstrings. You're going to drop your hands on the inside of the right leg. You can find Ekapada Kundanyasana, an arm balance, or Chaturanga, or plank, to Vinyasa, however you want to get there. Breathe in and lift the heart. And exhale to push back into your down dog. You're going to inhale back to that high plank. Keep your left hand down, stack your hips, and reach up your right arm. So you're going to be in a side plank here. You can hold side plank, or you can grab your foot if you want to play around, either bringing it out long in front of you or up high toward the ceiling. Just finding a little bit of balance in your strength here. Drop your hands back down to the mat and push into a down dog. Bend your knees, look at your thumbs, come in between the hands, roll back shoulders, and then fold forward. Bend your knees, push back the hips, Utkatasana, and lift to stand, Samasthiti. Bend the knees, push back the hips, lift up your arms, Utkatasana. Exhale to deeply forward fold. As you breathe in, look forward, roll back shoulders, hands on the mat. You're going to step back your right foot, so you're going to be in this deep lunge here. Before lifting up your left arm, so you're twisting your thoracic spine, getting yourself a nice heart opener here. Then you're going to square the hips as you breathe in, back to your crescent lunge, nice and high. And then drop your back heel, open up your hips, open up your arms. Strong warrior two. Want to square your hips forward, reach your heart forward, coming into a thunderbolt lunge. Before you're ready to drop your back knee down to the mat and lift into a high lunge. Give your hamstrings a nice stretch here in a half split. Before coming back into a low lunge. And again, you're welcome to just practice that half split if that feels best. Stay here. Or come into a nice full split if you just want to practice it. Your chest can be lifted as your pelvis stays downward. If you want to try folding forward, you can fold forward. We vinyasa from here, so you're welcome to practice an arm balance if you want to, or just step back with a high plank, bending the elbows, inhaling to the up dog, exhaling to the down dog. Want to roll into that high plank once again. Keep your right hand down, stack your hips to the right, lift up your left arm, and you're welcome to just stay in a side plank. But if you want to grab your toes and play around a little bit with some balance, reaching that leg forward and maybe upward, you're welcome to. Or you can just hold that side plank, whichever is best for your practice. Both hands back down to the mat. And then push into a down dog. Nice, full, deep breaths here. Bend the knees, look at the thumbs, look forward. And exhale to fold forward. Bend the knees, push back the hips, lift up the arms, Utkatasana. And return to stand, Samasthiti. You're going to take your right foot and step it to the back of the mat. Point your right toes to the back of the mat, open up your arms, shift your hips to the side of the mat as you reach for the back of the mat, dropping one hand down and lifting your left arm nice and high toward the ceiling. Keep the shoulders rolled back. Keep your navel tucked in, core nice and strong. Bend your right knee, bring your left arm up and over your left ear. If you want, you can bind your arms behind your back. Step your back foot forward, and we're lifting up into a bird of paradise. Now, if this is not a posture that feels comfortable for you, or it's where you're at right now in practice, that's fine. You can always come into a tree posture instead. Drop your foot down to the mat. Step your left foot back. Shift your hips to the side of your mat. Point your left toes to the top of the mat. Drop your left hand down as you extend your right arm up. Trikonasana. So we're in this nice open stretch for the heart, the shoulders, and hips. Then bend your left knee. Reach your right arm up and over your ear. You're welcome to bind here. We can practice that bird of paradise, but if that's not a posture you enjoy or feel comfortable with or ready for, you don't have to do it. You're more than welcome to find any type of balance posture. Sometimes a tree posture, Vrikasana is a nice one if you don't want to do the bird of paradise. When you're ready, drop your foot back down to the mat. Take your hands to your hips, roll back your shoulders, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Point all 10 toes to the side of your mat. Lift your heart nice and tall. And when you breathe out, you're going to deeply forward fold, keeping the spine nice and long before dropping your hands all the way down to the mat. You're welcome to do anything that may feel nice here. You can stay in the forward fold. You can try practicing your headstand as you lift your legs up toward the ceiling. If this doesn't feel good for your practice, find anything that just lowers your head, low your heart. Any type of deep stretch you enjoy. Again, catch your hips. Breathe in and lift all the way up. And then you're going to step to the front of your mat, taking your hands to your heart in Namaste. Bend your knees, push back your hips. Lift up your arms, Utkatasana. And as you exhale, take your hands to your heart and you're going to twist toward one side, whichever side you prefer. I'm twisting toward the right to begin with. Then inhaling to lift back up and exhale to twist to the other side, pushing your palms towards your sternum so you're getting a nice stretch through your back. Inhale to lift the arms back up toward the ceiling and exhale to deeply forward fold towards your toes. We'll take a vinyasa as you roll back your shoulders, drop your hands. You can practice an arm balance here if you'd like to, or you can just step to your plank, bend your elbows. Inhale to lift the heart, exhale to push back into your downward facing dog. Inhale to the high plank. Drop your knees down to the mat. Take your hands to your hips. Roll back your shoulders. Lift your heart. And you're welcome to stay here, or you can grab your heels if you feel like camel is part of your practice. And we're going to take some deep swaying movements in our spine as you drop your hips. Fold forward into Balasana, child's posture. Take your right hand to your right heel. Lift up your torso and hips. Reach up your left arm. And exhale to lower back down. Left hand to the left heel. Reach up your hips. Arch the spine. And exhale to lower back down. Let's take it one more time. Half camel. Nice sweep and lift. And exhale to lower back down. Fold, deep breath in, lift up, arch back. And exhale to lower back down. Take your hands to your heart. Roll back your shoulders. We're coming into a deep back bend here. You can bend back and hold halfway. You want to try to hold here. Before then, dropping your hands down to the mat and holding just for a moment here. Now if this is all too much, you can just hold hands at hips, looking up and arching back. Or you can try that deep back bend. Before coming to a seated position, rounding the spine and inhaling to lift the heart, roll back the shoulders. Exhaling to round the spine. And inhaling to lift the heart, roll back the shoulders. When you're ready, extend your legs out long toward the front of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up above the head. Keep the shoulders pulled back, chest lifted as you reach forward into Paschimottanasana, deeply forward fold. As you inhale, look to your toes. Take your hands to your heart. Come back to a seated position. Bend your knees and wrap your hands around your knees. Give yourself a little love, a tight squeeze here before rounding the back. Then you're going to grab your toes, lift your heart, straighten your spine. See if you can hold your balance as you straighten your legs as you lift the heels off the mat. Let go of the toes, holding the hands out, reached forward. Then grab your toes one more time. Bring the soles of your feet together. Keep your knees apart. Lift your heart. Reach your heart towards your heels. And Baddha Konasana. It should feel like a nice deep hip opener. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, rolled back and away from the ears. Baddha Konasana should be a gentle and releasing posture. It may feel a little tight at first, but your yoga is filled with challenges that should always feel good. If something does not feel good in your practice, use some blocks or strap or modify as needed. But allow yourself to breathe deeply and fully here as you decompress. Inhale to lift your heart. Tuck in your knees, grab your toes. Then extend your legs out wide to the side of your mat. Now, if you want to fold forward, you can. If that's a little bit out of your practice, you can just stay seated. But if you feel like you can get a little bit deeper, you're going to begin to reach your heart forward and slowly begin to fold forward. Remember, trying to breathe deeply in some of these postures. Sometimes they can feel a little intense, but you want to try to relax the body, relax the spine, and most of all, trying to relax the mind. When you're ready, breathe in and lift your heart once again. Tuck in your right knee. Bring your right foot to your left leg, keeping the right hip open. Rotate your torso toward the left leg, and you're going to deeply fold forward towards your left toes. You can find any variation of this fold that you wish to, either dropping the heart toward the knee or opening up your heart toward the ceiling, whichever you prefer, whichever feels nice. And then we're going to try that on the other side. Either rotate your torso toward the extended leg and fold downward, or you're going to try to reach your heart toward the side of your mat, opening up your chest. Whichever you prefer in this posture. When you're ready, breathe in and lift all the way up. And we're going to face forward again toward the top of the mat, pushing into your downward facing dog. From your down dog, roll forward to a high plank, staying nice and strong here. Let's hold plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pushing back into a down dog before inhaling your right leg up. Bend your knee and open your hip. Now you're welcome to just stay in this nice hip opener. If you want a little bit of a back bend, you can flip dog, reaching back behind you if you want to open the hips and heart and spine, before shifting back into your downward facing dog, keeping that right leg nice and high before sweeping it forward to the top of the mat in between your wrists, opening up the hip as we hold and fold into a nice deep pigeon posture, taking full, long, and deep breaths here. When you're ready, breathe in, lift your heart, squeeze your right hip forward, inhale your arms up, exhale to lower down, strong lumbar here as you breathe in and lift back up, keeping the arms high above the head, and exhale to lower back down. See if you can do it without having your fingers touch the mat as you inhale to lift up. And then you're going to bend in your back knee. See if you can grab your left foot. If you want, you can bind it to your elbow. Then you're going to sweep that left leg forward. Grab around the heel. Inhale the leg up toward the ceiling. Nice stretch here through the hamstrings and the spine. Cross your left foot over your right knee. Bring up your opposite arm and you're going to twist toward the other side of your mat. If you want to bind here, you're welcome to. If you rather just hold a gentle twist, that's available as well. Reach your arms forward. Bump up your legs into Navasana, nice and strong here. Before coming through a vinyasa, bending your elbows, inhaling to lift the heart, exhaling to push back. And let's repeat on the other side by bringing up that left leg. Bend your knee and open your hip. Now you're welcome to stay with the hip opener or flip back behind you in a flip dog, arching the spine, reaching over. When you're ready, drop the hand, come back into your three-legged dog before dropping the knee to the top of the mat, opening up the hip, finding a nice pigeon posture, exhaling to hold, and then fold forward. Long, slow, deep breaths. When you feel ready, we're going to take a deep breath in and lift all the way up. Bring your arms high above your head. Exhale to lower your heart down. Inhale to have a nice high lift, strengthening your low back. Deeply exhale to lower yourself back down. And as you breathe in, you're going to lift up and bend in your back knee. Now you're welcome to just try to hold the foot, or you can bind your foot to your elbow. Whatever feels best for you here. You're trying to stretch through your back quadricep and open up your spine a little bit. Back leg, you're going to squeeze up and forward as you reach your leg toward the ceiling, dropping your nose towards your knee. Crossing your foot over your opposite knee, reaching up high your arm and twisting toward the side of your mat. You can hold a gentle twist. If you enjoy binds or if that's something you're practicing, always take that extra step if you want to bind. Face back forward, uncross your arms, untuck your legs, lift up, holding a little bit of balance here in Navasana. Before we vinyasa once again, bend the elbows, inhale to lift the heart, exhale, push back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Drop your knees all the way down to the mat. Cross your ankles, sit on the mat back behind your heels. Just take a moment for some clearing, gentle breaths here. When you're ready to, you're going to begin to make your way into a high plank. centering your shoulders over the wrists, and then lower down into a forearm plank. Let's sway our hips side to side. Keep all 10 toes glued onto the mat, and you're just rotating your torso, working through the obliques here. Notice that your back isn't swaying or being compromised. You're working the midline and the side of your obliques. Nice strong core here. Making sure you breathe as you take your time to dip one hip at a time. Push up into your high plank, stack your heels to the right, lift up your left arm so you're in a nice side plank. If you want to play, you can lift up that left leg, do a couple of taps, working your strength and balance here, or you can just hold side plank if you rather, before we switch to the other side. Nice strong core, nice straight body. If you want to play, you can lift up that leg, play with your strength and your balance, your coordination. And then when you're ready, you come back to a high plank. Nice strong core, nice hold. For 3, 2, 1. Then lower down your elbows so you're in a forearm plank, and we're going to dip our hips side to side. All you need to do is just focus on your breath. Strong breath, strong core, straight spine. You're moving the hips, but you're not dipping the low back. We're just dipping one hip at a time. And when you're ready, push back to your high plank. Keep the right hand down, lift up the left arm. If you want to play around, you can lift up that left leg. Now, if this is too much on the wrists, you're always welcome to drop back down to the elbows. If you feel ready, you're going to switch to the other side. Keep those hips high and lifted. Keep your back straight. Keep your core tucked in. Before coming back to your plank, let's do this one more time. Final round. Holding your plank nice and strong. Deep, full breaths. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Then lower down to your elbows. And we come back into those hip dips. Try not to sway your low back. Try to stay nice and strong in your core. Keep the belly button tucked in. Try to keep your shoulders rolled back. Focus on your breathing. Just a few more here. We're going to lift up and open to a side plank. You're welcome to lift that leg if you want to. You're welcome to drop to the elbow. If you need to drop a knee, that's fine too. But this is your last round. Stay nice and strong before switching to the other side in a side plank. Nice and strong and lifted. And Exhale back to that high plank. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push back into your balasana, your child's posture. Take a nice deep breath, a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest for the shoulders and the wrists. And when you feel ready, we're going to come to a seated posture, legs extended out long in front of you at the top of the mat. Keep your toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Roll back your shoulders and forward fold. Breathe in, lift up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, keeping the knees apart, giving yourself a nice hip opener here. Inhale again to lift up. Holding on to those toes. Lift your legs up toward the ceiling, holding your balance, nice strong core. Let go of your toes, reaching your arms forward. Grab your toes one more time. And then drop your hands down beside your hips. Bend your knees. Lift your hips up, roll your shoulders back, get your hips up as nice and high as you can. Exhale to lower the hips back down. Inhale to lift your heart. If you want, you can lift your hips up one more time. And exhale to lower back down. Reach your arms forward to engage your core and slowly roll back and lay down on the mat. Bend your knees so the soles of your feet are flat onto the mat. Inhale to lift your hips up. Roll your shoulders back. Interlace your palms together underneath your tailbone. Try to keep your hands grounded onto the mat. And when you're ready, you're going to grab your hips and drop your tailbone down. This is giving you a deeper back bend here. Squeezing your knees in towards your chest and lifting your legs out toward the ceiling. Bend in your knees and lower your feet back down to the mat. Take your hands beside your ears if you want a deeper back bend and push up into a full wheel. Now if this doesn't feel good, you're welcome to just stay in your bridge posture or some variation of the back bend, or you can come into any variation of a wheel here that you like. Sometimes I like to drop my elbows, and this gives me a nice heart opener. If you want to experiment on your balance, you can always try squeezing in a knee and lifting up a leg, if that feels nice for you. If you've done one side, maybe you want to do the other side. And again, if this wheel does not feel good for you though, you're more than welcome to stay in any type of a variation of a spinal extension that you like. A nice heart opener, spine opener. When you feel ready, we're going to begin to let go of this back bend by dropping your hips back down to the mat. Tuck in your knees, give yourself a little love, tight squeeze before lifting your legs up toward the ceiling. Now you're welcome to just stay here with your legs up, or you can roll up into your shoulder stand if you like this posture. This can be a little intense on the neck or the back, so if it doesn't feel good, just stay with your legs up. If you'd like to, you can take your toes back behind your head. Maybe you lift one leg up toward the ceiling. This is both stretching your hamstrings and your hips, working your balance a little bit. If you lifted a leg, maybe you want to lower it back down and try the other side. But if lifting a leg is not part of your practice, you can just keep both feet down behind your head. If that's not part of your practice, you can keep both knees tucked in toward the chest if that feels better. You're then going to drop your hands down to the mat, lift your legs up toward the ceiling. You're using your nice, strong core to control your balance here as you slowly roll the spine all the way down onto the mat. Keep your right leg up toward the ceiling. Take your right ankle then to your left knee and squeeze your left knee into your chest. So we're in a figure 4 position or a reclining pigeon. This is a nice hip opener. The shoulders are rolled back. We're going to try the other side if that feels good. Sometimes the tailbone creeps up and the lower back lifts, but you want to try to keep the tailbone down, shoulders back, spine nice and flat. Then you can lower both feet down to the mat, open up the arms, bring the soles of your feet together, open up your hips. And let's take a soothing, relaxing Shavasana as we let all the elements of our practice seep into our bones, breathing in with grace, breathing out with gratitude. Let's begin to reawaken the body, finding a little bit of subtle and intuitive movement, whatever that means to you. Maybe it means swaying side to side. Maybe it means deeply stretching. Maybe it just means breathing a little bit fuller and deeper. Find some sense of intuitive movement to get you back to seated at the top of the mat. And we end here with loving kindness. Namaste and mahalo.